Hi there. These comments are for SK. You are one of my online students for my TOEFL course, a 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And in fact, you're actually a TOEFL speaking and writing bootcamp student, right? So you've been working very hard, and a lot of your essays have been scoring above 24 points. So keep up the good work, right? So you said the last time that you took the TOEFL, you were asked to choose among one of 3 choices and illustrated with reasons and examples. So the question was, the government is planning to allocate some money to develop your community. Among the following, which do you think are necessary for your community? Library, park, arts, museum. Right? So you wanted to know, how do you do this one? So it's just simple. You just pick one of them and then you explain 3 reasons why you think that's the best choice. What does that look like? Well, this is a brand new essay. I just put this together in about 30 minutes, and let's take a look at what it is. So let's look at the whole thing. It says communities want to improve their facilities for their residents. For some, town administrators may decide on using the allocated money to build a library. In other cases, administrators may use this earmarked government money to build a park. Finally, some towns may want to use this money for community development to build an art museum. If I had to choose among these 3 community facilities, I would definitely want the money to go toward a new park, whose construction would give the children a place to exercise. The new venue would add natural beauty to our city, and this park would be a convenient place for adults to work out. There you go. And this is the thesis. So now let's take a look at each body paragraph. Building a new park would be beneficial in that it would give children in my community a place to exercise. For example, at the park, authorities could plan some areas for soccer and basketball. Those children who played soccer at the park would get cardiovascular exercise, which would strengthen their hearts. They would also learn to play cooperatively, which would strengthen their mental health. Other kids at the park could play basketball. All the jumping and running on the court would help these kids strengthen the ligaments, tendons, and muscles in their bodies. In addition, having a park would add some beauty to our community. My family and I live in the desert with a lot of cacti, tumbleweed, and sand. To be honest, there's not a lot of green plants around. In fact, the water facility company charges too much for water, so most residents cannot afford the water that they would need for green lawns, shrubs, and colorful rose bushes. Having a park in our community would provide some greenery that would add beauty to our city. For example, in a neighboring city, the city decided to build a park on more than 35 acres of land. The park is encircled by more than 300 pine, oak, cherry, and birch trees, inside of which is a fairly large lake with a 400-meter diameter. In addition, colorful rose bushes of white, red, and yellow line the walkways leading into the park. Overall, the majestic park adds needed beauty to their community, and I would love to have a park like that in our community. Now, I want you to know that everything that I put in here, I just made it up, right? The neighboring community, I just made it up. Remember, you have to create, you have to invent information here, right? So if you can't think of personal experiences or ideas, then make them up, invent them. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. Finally, allocating money for a new park would provide a place for adults to work out. Many people in our community work long hours. They do not have a place to work out because their properties are too small. Similar to the children, having a park would give these residents a chance to work out. In addition to having opportunities to play soccer and basketball, these adults would be able to ride their bikes. They would also have a chance to walk or run on the decomposed granite pathways. Whatever method of working out they choose, having the park would give them a much needed place to unwind from their daily stresses of their work or personal lives. To sum up, even though art museums and libraries are important facilities in any community, I would prefer that at least for this fiscal project, that the city decide to build the park for me and for the other residents of my community. The children and the adults would have a new space to work out, and the park would add some stunning natural variety to our bleak, boring desert landscape. And there it is. So that's how I would answer it. I mean, you can answer this in 1,000 ways, but basically you choose one of these three facilities and then you explain why you think you want that facility in the community. Basically, you're explaining maybe three. I explained three benefits of having a park in my community. That's what I did there. All right, so those are my suggestions on how you can develop your reasons and examples to answer such. You call it a vague question, but in my opinion, it's not a very vague question at all because it's very specific. It's asking you to discuss whether you want a library, a park, or an arts museum. I mean, that's pretty specific. You choose one of the choices, you explain why you think that's the best choice, and you provide supporting reasons to back up your argument. And if you cannot think of any in your personal life, do what I did. Come up with some. Just invent some reasons, make them sound good, put them in there. Show that you can create content. All right, and thank you very much. I hope that this video is giving you an idea on how you can answer the TOEFL independent writing task when it's asking you to choose among three choices.